Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. The 1st through the 8th verse. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 8th verse. Immediately following that, turn me to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, and the 7th verse. And when you have it, respond by looking up at me. Amen. We'll be reading in unison, in concert together from the King James Version. Amen. Amen. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 8th verse. Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, and the 7th verse. Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 8th verse. Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, and the 7th verse. Beginning in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 1st through the 8th verse. Let us read. To everything there is a season,
and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. The time to plant, and a time to pick. Okay. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace.
To everything there is a season and a time. To every purpose under the heaven. Turn to Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, and the 7th verse. And let us read. For as a
so it is. Eat and drink, said he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. You may have your seats this morning. Thank God for the readers, hearers, and doers of his word. Amen. Amen. I want to label this morning's text just for a short while. It's a new season. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, it is a new season. I want to talk from that text just for a short while, as meteorologists and the scientific theories tell us that every year has 4 seasons. We all understand that there is a winter, a spring, a fall, and a summertime. You see, and as we prepare to leave out of summer, entering into the fall, we have to understand that we're getting ready to enter into a new season. And in understanding that we're entering into a new season, for some of us, that means that we are leaving behind high light bills from the summertime. You see, there are some others that we are getting ready to leave behind our nieces and nephews because they don't have to spend the night at our houses anymore because it's school time again. You see, there are some of us that need to realize, just a few of us this morning, that not only is this a new season for you in the physical, in the natural, but there's also a new season for you in the spirit realm as well. You see, for some of us, God is getting ready to take us to a whole nother level in this season. You see, some of the things that happened to you in the last season is not going to happen to you again this season. You see, the tears that you cried last season, you're not going to have to cry this season. The heartache that you had last season, you're not going to have in this new season. You see, the pain that you had to endure last season, you're not going to have to endure this season. But you have to understand and make up in your mind that it is a new season. Somebody say it's a new season. You see, and realizing that it is a new season, we have to be prepared for the new season. You see, every time the summertime rolls around, they tell us to make sure that we get our air conditions checked, and we also do a few other things. Then when the fall time rolls around, they tell us it's time for you to check your ducts and make sure that everything is all right in your house. So when you get prepared to cut the heat on, you don't start a fire. You see, but I stopped by to tell somebody this morning in New Beginnings International Church that you have to be prepared for your new season. You see, the things that you did last season weren't quite working. That's why you have to do something different in your new season. You see, the way that you thought in your last season, you can't think in this new season, because the way that you thought in your last season is what made you wind up in a bad relationship. The way that you was going about doing things in your last season is what put you in debt right now. You see, the way that you went about doing things in the last season is what made you have a bunch of nights full of teary eyes. But see, in this new season, we're going to say to God be the glory. You see, no matter what obstacle I'm getting ready to face in my life, I'm not going to worry about it, because the Bible says if I have the faith the size of a mustard seed, I can move mountains into the sea. You see, the Bible lets me know that it says, yeah, weapons are going to be formed against you. People are going to lie on you, but you have to look the devil square in the eye and say, no weapon formed against me shall be able to prosper. I'm more than a conqueror through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. You see, we have to get ready for our new season. You see, in the summertime, we experience record high temperatures. You see, we saw the summertime heat get up to 110 degrees in some places. You see, in other places, we even started to get up to 115 degrees with the humidity. You see, and so not only was it hot in the natural atmosphere, but it seemed like it was hot in our spiritual lives as well. You see, it seemed like every road we turned around, we was going through hell and high water. Every time we looked around, we was going through a new trial or a new tribulation. You see, but what it reminded me of a baker baking a cake. You see, in order for the baker to bake the cake, in order for the cake to reach its full potential, it got to get put in the oven. You see, some of y'all missed that right there. You see, you got to get put into the heat in order for you to raise up to your full potential. Because you can't cut through a cake that ain't never been through the fire. You can't eat a cake that ain't never been through the fire. But guess what? I stopped by to tell somebody this morning, just like a cake rise, you just raise up above your haters. You just raise up above all the negativity. You just raise up above all the people lying on